What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 108 of the RXP podcast, the podcast where four working professionals, I was just about to say three, and then I saw four boxes, but there's four of us, still four of us in 2025, talking all about shows, movies, games, books, everything that we love, and things that we are hyped about. This is the best episode of the year. If this is your first time joining us, you are in for a treat because we have hills we will die on. We have properties that we will talk about because this, of course, is our hype train episode. Before I even explain it, let me bring in to who is with me. My name is Matt, of course, and I am with Tiffany.
This is also my favorite episode of the year.
Alex.
May the new year bring everyone infinite wealth and infinite health.
And JRPGs. And Yasser.
In Matt's defense, he does only see three faces, so I get where you're coming from there.
Thank you, Yasser. Thank you so much. So, like I said, this is all about the hype of 2025. New year. Some might say new us, but some also might say the same us. Same trash we're into.
Yes, man.
We are going to be talking about all the things that we are hyped about this year. We're going to do something a little bit different. Sometimes we double down. You know, some says, "Hey, I'm excited for X, Y, and Z," and someone says, "Oh, me too," and we'll count them both. Not this year. 2025. We're going to be selfish. We're going to be unique, and so we're going to go through and each have three unique things that we are hyped about for 2025. If someone steals it, too bad. You can't even hype for it. You have to transfer.
No, you're allowed
all
to
your
hype for it.
Oh my gosh,
You just gotta come up with something
You
else.
won't be able
like,
to experience it this year.
I'm gonna have to suppress my
too
feelings.
bad. Sorry, man. I already picked it.
That would be brutal. Someone's like, switch to suckers.
Oh my gosh.
So who is like so hyped for something?
Me.
Oh wow.
Me.
Oh my God.
Me.
Hey, wait, I
Discord
thought
hasn't
we already
even-
agreed that I'm going first.
I thought we were having like a gentleman's agreement to let Yasser go first, but then
Fine.
Tiffany has gone up an octave.
I swear,
I don't know how to rate these.
if Yasser takes my answer, I'm gonna.
Wait, can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
What kind of media is your first thing, Tiffany?
So I actually did rank mine. Yasser's trying to be the square peg in the round hole here this episode.
Yeah.
He's doing unique entries that he's excited for, and when I say that, I think
Yeah.
it sounds like he has a show, movie, and game.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so I have ranked mine in order of most hype to hype. Okay,
What category would your most hype be, Tiffany?
none of this is the least hype. It's most hype to hype. Okay, that's my scale.
Okay.
That's
okay.
a
You're going from the thing you're most hyped about. You're gonna mention first.
Yes, because I need to make
wow.
sure
Isn't
that
that
it's
like backwards?
no, it's because I need to
okay.
make sure that I own it. Matt just said that we're being
Okay.
selfish, and this is what Tiffany
This is
the most
competitive
hype.
episode.
Okay,
I've
but my question
unlocked
is:
her.
is it a game or is it like something else?
It's a game.
Oh shit! Okay, I can't let you go
Yasser,
first. But it's gonna be
here's
something
the
different.
thing.
Trust.
I don't
Yasser,
know
you can
that
do
I-
the funniest thing ever. Pick the cozy game that's on your list and make that thing immediately.
If Yasser, okay, fine, Yasser, we have a gentleman's agreement. You're
Thank you.
saying that your most hype game is not my most hype game.
I just find
I'll
it hard
allow
to
it.
believe.
I'll allow it.
Okay, but we are both very much aware of this. Okay, so I'll go first.
Oh no! I'm gonna start screaming into my mic the moment he starts naming the game. If
I'm
it's
sorry,
my
listeners.
I hope they're the same thing.
Take your earbuds
This
out
is
now.
starting off so well, I gotta say.
All right, Yasser, rip this Band-Aid off.
All right, so like Tiffany mentioned, I am gonna mention one game, one movie, and one TV show that I'm really excited about this year. I'm gonna start off with the game, and so the game that I'm most excited about this year is Split Fiction.
Oh,
This is a game.
Ooh,
See,
nice.
we're okay, Tiffany. This is a game that Tiffany
We're chill.
drafted
this is almost on my list though. This was
in
actually
Fantasy Critic.
number 4.
And I mentioned then, like, oh yeah, this is a game I'm really excited about, and
Yeah. Mhm.
it to no one's surprise probably, it's at the top of my list. It Takes Two is one of my favorite platformers of all time.
Yes.
Mainly from like the different ways that they handle their gameplay, and as far as like the theme and the art of the game itself. I just loved everything about it. But beyond that, I even liked the previous entries in the series as well, as far as A Way Out and other games that they've released like Brothers. It's just all about the co-op experience, and I love that. And so I can't wait for Split Fiction. I'll be completely honest with you guys though. Some things about the story and like the trailer kind of made me like a little concerned. Like there's a lot going on. I'm not sure how much you guys have seen about it, but it's both a
Sci-fi fantasy
and sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot going on. So I'm a little concerned, like maybe 1% concerned that it's gonna be just too much. But overall, I just can't wait for this game, and I can't wait to play it.
You know what, Yasser, this was like number 4 on my list. Like
Okay.
this is a 4. We
That's pretty high too.
Yeah, we decided to limit our most hypedness to 3.
Yeah.
And
Well, we did have a 2-hour pod last year.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. We needed to reel it in a little bit. And so Split Fiction, I am super excited about it. I've already I had called dibs on Fantasy Girl. Alex is going to be Sci-Fi Girl because that's just how it rolls when
That's how it goes.
we do co-op games. But when you mentioned It Takes Two being fantastic, you know what, Yasser?
Mhm.
It Takes Two was my 2021 game of the year. And last year,
Don't blame you.
Astrobot was my game of the year. And I've always
Yeah.
said that I'm not a platform girly. But am I actually?
Might
Might
be.
be.
Like, that just mind
Think
blows.
you're right.
2025, learning new facts about Tiffany.
Honestly, like that's also true for me. Like I don't consider myself a huge fan of the platforming genre in general, but I just love the way that they combine the platforming genre with the cooperative gameplay
Yes.
throughout the game.
Mhm.
And I loved how it kind of innovated on itself from level to level. And I thought it was really cool. So I just can't wait to see what they come up with next. What do you guys think, Alex, Matt?
I think this is honestly one of my most anticipated of the year as well. Like I would definitely have stolen this if I could have, because this is just so much fun. Like Hazelight has a real good knack of just making fun experiences, not
Yeah,
just for me,
exactly.
but this has been really fun to bring in Maddie, who's not a gamer, and
Yeah.
to kind of like, I don't know what it is about it, because there's other games that are similar to it, but I think it's the changing, I don't know, mechanisms of the game from level to level that keeps it fresh. It doesn't keep it like it's very, very fresh all the time. Like we just finished the garden section and the greenhouse section in It Takes Two, and it's just like, oh wow, this is my new favorite version of this game. Like it just keeps like reiterating into different things, and like if you don't like a section, it's so quick. We'll move on to the next section. It'll probably be like your next favorite. So like I'm so excited. I enjoy their humor. I really enjoy. I'm enjoying It Takes Two. I haven't played any of the other ones, to be honest. So I don't know if like this is. It Takes Two, of course, won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. So there's a part of me that's like, oh, that's going to be tough. Like it's always
Yeah.
going to be compared to It Takes Two, but I don't think it's going to decrease my enjoyment of it at all. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, and I kind of respect the fact that they're continually trying to find new things rather than just creating sequels, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It is scary though, like you said. Like you don't know if this is gonna hit the same way the game that you enjoyed the most hit, you know? So that's definitely fair, and I just can't wait to see what it turns out like.
Alex, tell everyone how excited you are to play with me.
Honestly,
No.
I'm most concerned with this one out of all of them, because the way they set up the narrative made it seem
Yeah.
like it was a little bit more serious, right? Because obviously it's this idea of, you know, corporate ownership over like a creative construct type of thing. And so I'm wondering how they will kind of balance between the comedy as we've seen in their past games and also kind of a serious story, right? Because it feels like every entry they've done has either just been wholly serious or wholly comedic. And so I think this one's going to be the first one that like tries to balance both, where it's supposed to be like
It
a little
Takes
bit
Two
more
was
touching.
like about divorce, though. So,
exactly,
you know,
but it was comedy, right? Like the Book of Love.
Exactly, that's
you know?
hilarious.
Yeah. Versus like trying to
Well,
escape prison. you
Yeah,
know?
like
I don't know. I
That's
feel
true.
like there always is that kind of balance in their games. Like A Way Out is about escaping prison. And there's a lot of comedy within the game that's like it's not obviously a comedic game, but they tried to add comedy to make it more fun. And you could literally just, if you wanted to, in the first, I think, level, I'm pretty sure, you could have a pull-up challenge with your co-op mate.
Oh, wow.
Which has like
Love
nothing
that.
to do with the story, but like you could go off into this like little mini game and you can have a pull-up challenge. So I think they always try to add like a little bit of humor and love into their games, even if it's like a serious thing that they're talking about, like prison or divorce. So I think they have a knack for that, but I totally understand what you're saying too, because that's exactly what I meant with that 1%. Is it is kind of weird balancing act as far as like the story that they've shown off so far. But I think we're gonna learn more as we get closer to release. When does it release again? I totally forgot.
March.
Very soon.
6th or
March.
something.
Okay.
I don't know. I made it.
Okay. So that's like 6
Pretty
weeks
close.
away.
Pretty
We're
close.
excited.
Yeah. That's gonna be great. Tiffany, I want to hear it.
Yay.
What-
Yeah, let's
Yay,
hear
yay.
this most
Oscar.
hyped thing.
Guys, you know.
that you were worried that I was gonna steal.
Listen. Okay, here's the thing though. Like, you know what kind of girl I am. And this girl got herself 2 Happy Meals on the first day of the new Pokemon cards. So my
Pokemon Za?
Yes, it's Pokemon
Okay.
Za. I'm
Okay, that's
so
a fair point
It's
then.
really
excited.
fair.
I'm
That's very
so
fair, yeah.
excited for Pokemon Za because I also thought you might have been excited about it. I don't know, but
Honestly, I am. So, question for the whole team before you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do we think Pokemon Za is going to be a Switch 1 and 2 game?
Absolutely.
honestly, I think it's
Yeah.
only going to be Switch 1. I think these.
Ooh.
Wait, no. There are
spicy.
no games that are like that. Or at least for the most part. Any Switch 1 game is also compatible with Switch 2.
No, I know, but I mean,
Not
I don't think
all
they're making
the
a Switch
time.
2
Like
not optimized?
versions. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know how Nintendo's going to do stuff like that. So you're probably
They're gonna
right.
probably do something stupid. I'm sure. They
Yeah.
always find a
It's
way.
like it's the same game. We didn't do
No,
anything.
Yeah.
It'll run worse on the Switch too.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Joke's
I
on
think.
you.
Okay.
Bring it
Keep
down
going,
to
Tiffany.
15.
So I'm so excited for Pokemon ZA because number 1, X and Y is my second favorite gen. And the fact that we're going into the future. So like, okay, here's the thing. Let me reel it back. Legends Arceus. Love that game. Love it. We went into the past. They tried their best at a little more of a little open world. It wasn't open world. It was open zone. I'm not going to lie. I was really into that. I really like the open zone concept. You know, go into the bog area for specific Pokemon, go into the mountain zone for other Pokemon, you know, go into the lush forest for whatever. I really liked it and I had a really good time. They changed up how, you know, or they changed up some of the gameplay by giving us like things to work towards, like catch 10 Beedrills and then you finish the Pokedex. Catch 2 girl low bunnies
Girls.
or something. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying
Catch
to
2 girls.
Yeah, catch 2 girls. I was trying to come up with a different Pokemon. But they
Yeah.
came up with little like mini goals to flesh out your Pokedex. You could have left that behind. You didn't even have to do that if you didn't want to. I tried to 100% my Pokedex. That honestly burnt me out. It is what it is, but I had a great time playing that game. I probably put like 70 plus hours into that game. I loved it. And now with Pokemon ZA, we're going back to a zone that I love, and instead of going back to the past where you had old style Japanese town, we're getting a futuristic like city with you know, I'm just so excited to see what the vibe is like, especially because I feel like Scarlet and Violet actually kind of hinted at that stuff, you know, because with Miraidon and Koraidon, those dragon bikes, one of them was like a future looking bike and the other one was like an old timey but not old timey but prehistoric bike Pokemon. And so like I think they were sort of playing with that with like the Arceus side, and now with Za. I don't know, I'm just like, I'm really excited to get back in there.
I have a question because I don't remember. I remember this getting announced. I remember like maybe a vague trailer. I don't remember any details beyond that. Is this going to be like more of a linear, like you have 8 gyms, you're going to go to those 8 gyms, like more like the standard?
Have they even revealed
Pokemon?
anything? I don't think they have. Right?
No, I don't think they've revealed anything.
They haven't. Okay.
And in Arceus, they didn't really have gyms because it was like before gyms.
What would make you more hype for this to be more like Arceus or more like the more linear standard Pokemon experience?
I think I would really like it to be more like Arceus.
Okay.
I mean, Scarlet and Violet did the cool thing where the gyms weren't linear in a way, even though they were.
Yeah.
I mean, like each gym was.
I mean, not really.
well,
You could still do other things first if you wanted to.
Well, absolutely, but I'm just saying that the gyms didn't scale. They were
Oh, okay, yeah,
always
yeah.
the set level that they were.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
one thing that would be revolutionary would be that I almost wish that each gym's level adjusted based on when you went there.
Interesting.
Like,
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But it's not like
Yeah.
it necessarily like adjusts like real time. It's more like the moment you get a badge, it just trickles down to like the rest of the gym. Suddenly, all
Yeah.
the other gyms increase in level, and then the
Sure.
moment you get a second badge, all the other gyms increase in level to make it more of a sort of
Wow.
open world thing. But that
Makes
that's
sense.
might be too big brain.
I mean, I like that. I also like personally what they did with Scarlet and Violet, where you can try to beat the strongest gym immediately and just get wrecked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was cool because like it truly did feel like an open world where you can do whatever you want, and then if you choose to fight the strongest person, well, you're gonna learn what's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's
But
like
I
Elden
think
Ring.
you're yeah exactly. But I do like your idea too, because I've always found that concept of gyms so weird that like Brock is the easiest gym leader for some reason, even though he's been training Pokemon his entire life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it would be really cool to have it scale with how good your Pokemon are at the moment or how many badges you have currently. So that'd be really cool. I have a question for you as well. Do you think it's better to have just zones like they had with Legends? Or do you think now that Scarlet and Violet have opened up open world for Pokemon games, that's the standard moving forward and they have to make it work with something like that?
I feel like when they were toying with the zone concept, it helped with how things loaded and stuff. And in
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet, it was just real bad.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the pop-ins and like, I mean, you had some.
They've had more time to like get practice with developing open
I
worlds
mean,
now
that
at this
is
point.
true.
It was
And
so
Switch
memed.
too.
That's true.
You just don't. You don't have
Double
confidence.
the trees.
Yeah, I'm just still worried about it. Even though they've taken a
That's
break,
fair.
which is good. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't come out with anything last year. So I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic, but I know that I'm excited. And this is the one thing that I'm planning on taking a day off of work on release day to get deep dive right in. And I'm really hoping, you know, I'm even excited to see which starters are going to be our options, because with Legends Arceus, it was a mixture. They chose 3 different starters from like 3 different gens.
Yeah,
And so
I like that a lot too.
yeah, I like
That's
that.
kinda cool.
So I can't wait to hear what that's going to be.
And remember, Scarlet and Violet came out 2022. We're looking at almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
Pretty big break.
Huge.
It's been time.
Obviously, with the Switch delay or Switch 2 delay, so that's probably part of it. But still, it's good to know that they've had this much time at this point.
Yeah.
You think a launch game for this?
No. This is going to
No?
be a holiday title.
Holiday.
I feel like holiday
Oh.
Yeah.
makes sense only because
Okay.
they've got to spread out the games somehow, right? Like they can't just release everything all at once.
I feel
I
like
don't know.
There's
It'd
one
be cool, I guess,
mustachioed
if they did
person
that.
that's going to dominate holiday.
actually,
But okay.
you know what? Okay, here's the mixture though, because a lot of times Pokemon has come out around November. I feel like it's like historically come out in November. However, when Arceus came out, it came out in January.
Oh, really?
So I could even believe, okay, we're gonna get a Pokemon Presents in February because that's what always
Yeah,
happens.
mhm.
And then I could also believe them literally announce that this comes out in 2026. Like I could actually
That
see
would
it
be
because I.
awful, but yeah.
But like, wait, did they say 20? Like I'm thinking.
They said 2025.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm discombobulated because obviously I'm like I was trying to will this into existence, which is why I made this number 1 on my list.
I love it.
So I think that we're going to see Pokemon Presents, and it's going to tell us that this is going to come out in November time. That's what I think.
Hmm.
I think that's a safe bet.
I think that's awesome. Real excited. 2 really good picks. Alex, do you want to go? Do you want me to go? I've got very vague. Like I've got a whole bunch of movies that you guys probably haven't even heard of. So it's like I've got stuff in my bag if I need to.
Okay. I mean, I only have I don't have any movies on my list, but I can just go ahead then.
Do
so
it.
obviously, I feel like I'm the designated card guy in this group, more so than Tiffany.
Tiffany likes her cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
he's a
was
card
the
guy.
OG card guy. I've
Okay,
been in the cards. And so for me, it's quite simple. Magic the Gathering, very well-known card game.
Yeah.
Has a special crossover set coming out this year that was announced a couple years ago, and that is Magic the Gathering cross Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And so
wow.
this will be a whole set,
Wow,
like its
okay.
own dedicated set of cards. And obviously it's going to be a pain to get because, scalpers are going to scalp trading cards. Like that's just how it's been since the dawn of time. But besides that fact, I am very happy, mostly because they also announced every game every mainline numbered entry will be getting representation in the set.
Cool.
Yeah, there'll at least be one or two characters from probably your favorite respective Final Fantasy numbered entry. And so I'm just super excited because, I'm not a big Magic player myself, but from a collector's perspective, I'm kind of like, this is the one set that if you were to ask me what would get you to buy Magic cards, well, first would be Transformers, which they've already done.
Oh.
So that's already been a thing. And then second is Final Fantasy. And so I'm definitely very excited to get those cards. Potentially, we'll see how the market treats me.
That's interesting. That was actually going to be my first question: is if they've done this before, and it sounds like they've done a bunch. If they've done Transformers, that I would not have guessed Transformers.
They did Lord of the Rings,
Magic Gathering,
Lord of the Rings last year.
No,
and then
for me, and it goes to show the possibilities of these crossover sets that they release. They've done My Little Pony, and apparently the My Little Pony cards are actually kind of usable. So it is something where it's like they don't cross over with these,
like in tournaments,
or just like you could build effective decks. Like there are decks
could you
that
imagine
at the time
going to a tournament and then
winning?
This dude just like pulls down this My Little Pony and sends you to the underworld or whatever you do, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, so it's definitely it shows the extent of when they do the crossovers, like the cards, they don't just do it as a gimmick, right? It's not just saying we licensed and partnered with your favorite IP and we're gonna create those characters and put them into this world, right, as playable cards. It's like, no, they actually put a lot of effort into designing things that are thematic with the characters that work in the game. I think a lot of the cards themselves too sometimes come with unique mechanics. I know with Transformers, I don't think the mechanic debuted with them, but the cards are flip cards. So on one side, it's the Autobotter Decepticon, like in its quote unquote like machine form, and then the other side of the card is it in its vehicle form. And so that was a mechanic, like I said, I don't know if that existed in Magic before then, but like there are plenty of cards that have these double-sided effects where it's like one version of it on one side and the other when flipped over. And so that kind of stuff, I'm like, they know how to take advantage of what exists mechanically in Magic and how to import that, whatever IP they're taking and make it interesting. So what will they do for Final Fantasy? I have no idea. They haven't shown the card list yet. The only caveat I have with it is that some of the art they've shown is from artists that have known to praise AI generated art in some fashion. So my only reservation is that hopefully none of the art that gets used on these cards was generated via AI, because I'm not pro AI in that way. So that's the only thing holding me back. Otherwise, hopefully everything looks great. I'm excited, especially for the Lightning card. Final Fantasy 13, like that's the one I'm most, I'm going to hunt for that if possible.
It's funny you say the thing about AI. My Instagram Reels is all about card packs and card reveals and like pulling
pack
and
openings,
all these things. Yeah. And I don't do any of it myself. Like I know it would be an issue. Like if I even let in that drug into my life,
yeah,
I know it'd be an issue. But it's opened the world of all the different types of cards that there are. And there's this divorced dads thing. Like it's like a card game and it's called Divorced Dads, and it's hilarious. Like they're mostly comedy cards, but in the first edition, a lot of the images were AI generated because it was like one dude, whatever. And he actually got a lot of backlash. So he changed all the cards and had artists do it, and he like credited on the cards like the specific artist of it, and it's like that's actually really cool. Like it's things like child support, like that's
That's a card.
you know, a card.
Yeah.
But it's like very similar to kind of like what a Magic the Gathering card looks like. Like it's like what child
he went
support
out for
personifies in a monster or a setting, and it's honestly look up the card packs because they're actually really funny. But it's maybe they've learned from that because supposedly that was like a big thing and a big stink in like the card game community with AI. So hopefully it's not AI. We'll see.
I'm definitely going to be really excited to help you find these cards, Alex, because I want to rip them open and look at them with my grubby little fingers.
Wash your hands first.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Wash your hands after your Pokemon Happy Meals, and then you can open the pack.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I'm going to start with a game that I don't expect any of you to have on your list, but it's something that's really important to me. I've been waiting forever, almost 10 years since it was initially released, or at least a teaser for it. It's gone through development hell time and time again, and it's finally happening with the launch of the Switch 2, and it is Metro Prime 4.
Manifesting.
We made it, people. We made it. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen this year. I think it's going to be a launch title. I think it's going to go to Switch 1 and Switch 2, but I think Switch 2 is going to be optimized, and they've been waiting for Switch 2. This is... I don't... Have you guys played this series at all? Has anyone...
Very little, to be quite honest with you.
This is probably one of my favorite Nintendo IPs, period.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
Mario, Zelda. I'd even put like Fire Emblem up there. But even that, like I would put Metroid above Fire Emblem.
Okay.
Especially the Metroid Prime series. That's how I got into Metroid. I then went back and like did a lot of Virtual Console and the Wii and stuff like that to kind of fill in my gaps. And the Metroid Prime series... The first one, honestly, might be in my like top 25 games of all time. I've been waiting to play the remaster. I think I might play the remaster sometime this year just to get ready for it. One of my favorite games, the setting and just feeling alone in a universe where everything is trying to kill you and like the creepy vibes was something that as a GameCube kid, I didn't experience. Like I had my GameCube before my PS2. And so honestly, it was the only game on that little purple box with a nice little handle on it that gave me those feelings. And it kind of drove me to get a PlayStation and to like find games that had a little bit more mature themes and mature settings, because I never really experienced that. Like, and it was Metro Prime that really put that on the map. Echoes was Metro Prime 2, very dark, very complicated, but had like this mix of light world and dark world. Metro Prime 3 Corruption, which was a Wii game, was awesome. Like you are basically going after hunters who are also, corrupted, and you're having to like save them and take their primary weapon. Like these games are so much fun. I just love everything about it. And so I'm excited to see what Metro Prime 4, like each of them is so distinct and different and has such a fun twist to it. I'm excited to see what Metro Prime 4 has in store. So I'm definitely going to check it out. It's definitely one of those things that I'm hoping it's a Switch 2 release, because I think that'll pair really well with something like light, like Mario Kart, that I could play both. But Metro Prime 4 is definitely one of those things where whenever the Switch 2 releases, it'll be something I'm dropping everything. I don't care what I'm playing at that time. I'll stop it to play it because I've been waiting. I've been waiting years.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been in Azkaban.
It really has been years, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got like the teaser was 2017 or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. When was the last game, like mainline game, released though?
Let me look that up. It was
It's
on
got to
the
be
Wii,
like over
so
a decade, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Like
close to a decade at
2008.
least.
I don't know.
Okay.
What was the one
Yeah.
that came out for the Switch?
Dread.
Dread?
It was.
Oh, Dread.
Yes, Dread. Mhm.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Really, really good. But it's more 2D style. It's like very similar to like
Side-scroller,
Metroid
yeah.
Fusion. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah.
it's kind of similar to like
Metroidvania.
Wonder compared to Odyssey.
Got it.
Great,
Right.
but those are not.
a
My
different niche, right?
initial Metroid is first person.
Yeah,
And
okay.
It's hard to get away from that.
That's been like the weird thing for me, because like I said, like I haven't played any of these Metroid games, and it's just a weird conundrum because I do prefer like more mature themes in video games, but I just always assumed, well, this is a Nintendo game, so like it can't be that mature themed. But from what you're saying, it makes me want to try it even more. And I was already thinking about playing this game because of the fact that it's supposed to be very different than your typical Nintendo IP. And I'm just curious to see like what the fuss is about.
Yeah.
But it does seem like in general, Metroid does not sell like other Nintendo IPs.
No.
And it's because of that fact, most likely, right? Because children aren't going to be asking for this in Christmas every year. But it's cool that Nintendo continues to support it, albeit probably should. It'd be nice to support it a little bit more than it has, I'd imagine, from your perspective. But nice to still support IPs like this, even though they're not their biggest sellers like Pokemon or Mario or whatever the heck.
So Matt's literally like gonna be there at Switch 2 launch. Yasser, are you gonna be there?
From everything that I've heard, I think the answer is no.
Okay.
Because one, it's not going to be OLED, and I want this handheld to be OLED because I play it handheld exclusively for the most part, whatever this thing is going to be. And then number two, it seems like all the games that we're going to be expecting early on are going to be on both. That's my guess from what we've been hearing. And so if I can play it on my Switch OLED, I don't expect Nintendo games to be like the most beautiful things I've ever watched or played. So I don't really mind to just play it on my OLED. And then eventually, if they release an OLED version, I'll probably get it. But if I play Metroid, it's probably going to be on my original Switch. Hopefully, that'll be an option.
Okay.
And here's, I do wonder, because they were very like mixed in their marketing of like everything is backwards compatible. If there was to be a game that launches on Switch 2 that is exclusive to Switch 2, I could see it being Metroid. Like, part of me that wonders why it's gone like so many iterations in its own development is like, I wonder if they've just were like, Switch is just not powerful enough. And the Switch 2 is supposedly as powerful as a PlayStation 4 Pro, that like maybe they just need that extra graphics or the extra whatever, like to really pump it to the next level. I hope not, though, because there's so many players that are stuck on Switch, and I'm always worried that like we'll never have enough Switch 2s at launch for the people that want it. So I hope it's for both, but man, I hope they knock it out of the park. The last Metro Prime came out in 2007, so it's been
that's
crazy. 20 years. Yeah,
that's wild. Honestly, to their credit, they did say like one of the reasons why they delayed the Switch 2 is so they could have enough quantities. So hopefully that's not an issue, but we'll see. We'll see.
Take it.
Fingers crossed.
Can I go again?
Yeah, Tiffany.
I'm going to go. Okay. This is my movie hype. I'm so excited for a little summer movie. I'm saying that we're going back to the basics, I think. I think this is going to bring us back, y'all. Fantastic Four First Steps. I am very, 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 very excited for this movie because number one, Pedro Pascal. Number two, The First Family. And number
I thought she was going to go through every actor.
And then
it's like these are the four.
Number three, I think this is going to help lead us into the next Avengers movies. And I'm very intrigued of where we're going from there. We got Captain America, A New World coming out in February. We have Thunderbolts coming out in May. I see those movies, but I'm not as hype as I am for Fantastic Four.
Interesting to pick, honestly. So I've never been a Fantastic Four person. So it's funny. I actually am excited for a Marvel movie this year. It's not the movie I'm picking, don't worry, but it was on my list, and that's Captain America. Like I'm actually I think that's the first Marvel movie in a while that I was like, oh, you know what? I actually want to watch that on release or like
in the theater
at some point this year, 100%.
Oh, okay.
But
on the plane.
I don't think I personally. Wait, what'd you say?
He said on the plane.
On the plane. But like Fantastic Four, I've just like never personally connected with. How about you guys? Like, are you guys big Fantastic Four fans like Tiffany is?
I grew up with that first movie set when like Johnny Storm was played by
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. Like
And
I
Jessica
watched
Alba.
Jessica
Alba
Just-
one too?
yes,
Yeah.
Jessica Alba.
Okay, I've watched scenes.
I've watched that movie probably like 50 times. Like no joke.
What?
I'm pretty
because,
sure
like,
we own the DVD or something.
Yeah, my family owns the DVD too. Like that thing
funny.
is worn.
Yeah.
So that is my Fantastic Four. I never watched the one with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, it was,
I don't know if
it
you guys
was,
watched. Like
it was,
That existed?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
They
Live
rebooted
action?
It. Yes.
he was the Human Torch. Yeah,
Yeah, he was the Human
No way.
Torch. It was a,
never watched
it
it.
was a
I heard
modern
it was
family.
terrible.
It was yeah, it was okay. It was mid. It was mid.
Dang. Okay.
She says it was
Well,
mid, but she probably gave it a 4 on Letterboxd.
Shut up. No, I don't remember what I voted.
4.5.
I would have to rewatch it. I don't know if Alex remembers those original movies though, but we own the DVD and I was like really into it. I mean,
Alex didn't watch it with you?
No, I did watch it. I'm more so of the characters do nothing for me. Like I do not care about that group. Like I think when you have a group, especially like when you present heroes as a group, the camaraderie has to be there. Like when you look at iconic like hero groups, especially just like the X-Men, like with the animated show, right, 97 when that came back, like a lot of the pull when you have a bunch of characters is how they interact with each other. And historically, like Fantastic Four to me has just been very dull. Like there's besides the whole like family like idea, like so many like that's like the cheapest way to connect characters is to say, oh, they're like a family. And so to me,
Go
I
in,
think,
Tiffany. She's so ready. I could tell.
yeah, like for me, it just takes so much more to be like, why do I care about these? I mean, I think in this case, the actors are really going to carry it, right? Because obviously, like
True.
Marvel on the whole has reinvented itself with a better portrayal just from a writing perspective. But I think the gimmick needs to be overcome in a much like stronger way, right? Especially if this is also supposed to help lead into kind of this new era, right, over the next like 3-4 years of movie releases. So basically, not to say I want to say this entire phase is riding on this movie, but I think it really, for me, it's like it's gonna come out. I may or may not watch it. I'll probably just wait till it's on Disney Plus. Like it's not something I'm like, I need to go see this, right? Because to me, just the characters, the actual like archetypal family isn't enough to carry it.
to me, the superhero family was I feel like one of the first times that I saw that. Because, like, every other superhero family, quote unquote, at the time was like a found family. And this is straight up like, my little brother is the Human Torch, and I am married to Mr. Fantastic. Like, that was unique to me. I mean, I thought Chris Evans was adorable back in the day. I really liked, I think his name is Ian Gaffard, or I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the one that played Mr. Fantastic. I really liked him as an actor as well. And so, I don't know. It's at that time, too, we were really strapped for superhero movies. You know, I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
Spider-Man and X-Men
It was a different time.
were quite good, I mean, at the time. And to me, Fantastic Four was just a little kitschy, like...
It wasn't good. You just have to accept it. Like, it just was, at the time, it was bad.
How
Like,
dare you? It wasn't a bad movie. I really liked it.
You can't have good
was
things
fun.
without bad things because it's all a scale. Like, nothing is good if everything's good, you know?
I also
Getting
was
so
like
deep.
15 years old when I saw that movie. Okay,
Yeah,
like my
yeah,
bar
for
for
sure.
what was a good movie was very
right, but
low.
in
All of our bars are
retrospect, you
different,
now
yeah.
know it's bad. Like, oh, that was
But the
bad.
No,
nostalgia like kind
I-
of covers that,
I
right?
will say that the second movie
does.
was bad. The Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
I remember Silver Surfer.
that was bad.
Which that's what this is going to be talking about. Like it has Silver Surfer and Galactus as the big bads. So there's part
Probably
of that
because
that I'm
people
like,
know Silver Surfer, right? I mean, that's the
Probably.
first thing that I think of is Silver Surfer.
but like
for
Doctor
Fantastic
Doom
Four.
is the most like
Yeah,
notorious
Dr.
Marvel
Doom.
villain
Oh,
ever.
he's
and that's,
Fantastic
like,
Four as well.
yeah,
Fantastic
he's
Four,
Fantastic
yeah.
Four.
Oh shoot! I didn't
He
know
was
that.
played by
But-
that one actor from Nip Tuck who was like super famous back then.
He's got a really identifiable face. I
Mhm.
don't know his name.
I
at
don't know
all.
his name
But I'm very excited because Galactus is being played by the guy from The Witch, the dad from The Witch.
Yeah.
Ralph Ineson maybe.
Oh, wait, they
Um,
got
who
him
has-
to do the voice?
Yeah. So
Oh,
he's going to
man,
have
that's
that
great.
big
Alex is
sultry
hyped now.
voice as he's like eating the world. Oh man. Can't wait.
Alex, are you
As
more
long-
intrigued now?
As long as it doesn't look like him, he's an old guy at this point.
I'm sure it
Oh my
won't look like
gosh.
him.
Oh my gosh.
I
Clearly,
just want to
Tiffany
say
did
justice
not-
for not Dormammu.
Oh, wait, go
Justice
ahead.
for Dormammu.
Oh,
That's all I wanted to say.
I was gonna say clearly Tiffany did not watch Powderpuff Girls growing up. That was my family superhero.
okay.
Or superhero family.
I did watch, and it's called Powerpuff Girls, not the Powder
Did I
Puff.
say Powderpuff?
You
My
said
bad.
Powder
You know what I
Puff.
meant.
You
Fake fan.
fake fan.
I wasn't a
Wow.
huge fan. I just watched it a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Also, I was gonna say real quick. So you like Pascal with the choice? Because like a lot of people that love Fantastic Four was really hoping for John Krasinski, which I love the dude in general. So I just was blindly hoping for that. And Pedro Pascal was like, okay, he's a good actor. So are
He's
you
in everything
excited for
now.
that
Yeah.
specifically?
Well, I think that honestly, if they did get John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, I would have just loved that in general. Like, I thought that would have been really cool, like
That would've
meta,
been really cool, yeah.
meta stuff. But I really do like Pedro Pascal. He's gone through a renaissance for me with
That's fair.
The Last of Us, and he was in the Kingsman movie, and he's just charming. He's just so charming.
He is.
Like,
He's
I've
very
seen a bunch of his interviews and stuff. Like,
He's a great guy. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell.
yeah, I really like him.
Did you watch the last point before I move on to the next thing? You need to watch his movie with Nick Cage by the end of the year.
That
I
That's
want
it.
to.
looks so
They
crazy.
just got added to something.
Um,
Might have gotten added to Max.
I'll forward you the title because it's like something about like incredible talent or something like that. It was
Yeah.
so funny. You got to watch it.
I can't.
Anyways,
Okay, maybe. I'm not gonna promise you anything.
I'm holding you to it. All right, who's next?
Speaking of Pascal,
Oh, you're gonna do
I'm
it.
gonna go next.
You're gonna go
My
next.
number
Oh,
2
he's going in.
Yeah,
is
we
The
know.
Last of Us Season 2.
Nice.
I wonder who is going to pick it.
And for me, and I've been saying this since we talked about the first season of The Last of Us, I am wholly excited not just to like watch it, but to see the public discourse around the story.
Yeah.
Because especially when the game came out, Last of Us Part 2 back in 2020, so this story has been out there for almost 5 years now, so it's not really a spoiler. I'm not going to spoil it here, but it was very divisive. Like, what the events that elapse in that game are very intense, very have a very particular take, and obviously I don't know how they'll adapt it to a show. As far as we know, it will be divided into 2 seasons, so there'll be this season and then a season 3 at some point.
Oh,
later
really?
on. Yeah.
I
Yep.
didn't know that. Okay.
Mhm.
So in that case, I also don't know how they'll divide telling the story across 2 seasons, right? Because I feel like there's multiple ways you could split it. And
For
so
sure.
honestly, there's at least one moment that they're gonna have to show in this season because I think it's very relevant to any way how they decide to divide the story. And I mostly just want to see the online discourse. Like, I know it's like I enjoyed the story like when I played the game, right? Like, it is one of those things where I realized, man, it's not a game I will replay because of just how impactful it was. And I feel like a lot of that experience was like not knowing what happens and playing it for the first time. And so it's kind of the similar way of like, oh, a lot of people are going to see this, feel and experience that story, and I just want to know what their reaction is, because I feel like that's where a lot of the strength of that storytelling is. It's like, oh, this actually happens and these are the consequences of what happens type of thing. So I hopefully, there's not a lot of dark rhetoric on the internet, but obviously it's the internet, so there will be. But besides that, it's definitely going to be a contentious discourse, I feel like, to say the least.
I'm excited.
Honestly, yeah, I'm excited too. Even though, like I said, with the first season, I'm not super looking forward to it because it's very much, as far as I understand right now, it's gonna hold to what the game did as far as narratively, right? But at the same time, I am a little scared of what that reaction is gonna be because we already saw what it was with the game, and I doubt they're gonna change anything to appease those fans. So I don't know. I'm a little worried. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna ignore the people.
Yeah,
I know who
that's probably
I
the best
am.
thing to do.
And
Yeah,
I know
it's a
what
good
my
approach.
eyeballs are
Yeah.
gonna see, and I'm just gonna soak it in, and then we'll probably talk about it right here, folks.
I definitely want to hear
definitely-
that discussion for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even be part of it. Maybe we should do a peer review. That'd be
I think
funny.
we should. I think we should. I'm interested in kind of seeing people who have not experienced the story, how it'll play across in a TV show, and if that will change. Like, because
Yeah.
part of it is the act of doing said activities in the game,
Right.
and like
Yeah.
taking that agency out of it and just being someone who watches it. Like,
Yeah.
will that change how some of that is? Like all the crap about like what the actors look like and how they don't look like what they think they should look like. I hate that crap. Like if
Hate
I
it.
could mute just phrases, like it would be all that. Like
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
that's already happening. Like people are
Right.
nitpicking at trailers and it's like, oh, they're not muscling it. Shut up. Go home.
Yeah.
No one likes you.
Right.
But
You're
everything
not
else I'm really
muscly
excited
enough.
for. I know.
Definitely.
Yeah, they definitely aren't.
Yeah.
Neither am I. So
No, I wasn't
But
directing at
I-
you. That was to the naggers out there.
We know, Alex.
but
I was just
the
making it
thing
clear,
that
Matt.
I'm really
You're perfectly
I'm really
muscular.
interested about is how do we switch this second season into probably a part 1 and part 2, because I think
Mhm.
it's just probably too big, and I know they'll probably split it up, and how they split it up, and the people that have played the game know exactly what we're talking
Yeah.
about. But I think it's fine to keep it at that, because I'm interested to see the creative process on Neil Druckmann is involved in this, and so it's going to have his blessing. And how do you tell the story again?
Yeah.
I'm really excited for all the documentaries that will go after the fact, and like having Neil Druckmann come in at the end and say like, coming back to this project that was so divisive, like how that affected his thoughts on being a producer of this. I'm just very, very infatuated with that thought process.
Yeah, I do feel like they probably will organize it a little differently. Like, to be honest, there were good constructive feedback from that game that I think could have made the experience better as far as like how the story was told, that I think we're going to see in the show. And I actually am pretty excited to see how that kind of plays out, because if it's different enough, that would encourage me to want to actually watch it and see like, okay, what did Druckmann do with that feedback, and how did he change how the season plays out as a result? So I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. It's a good pick, Alex.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good swing at things.
Oh my God, shut up.
Unbelievable. Yasser, you want to go next?
Sure. Since we're on TV, I guess I'll just throw out a TV show. How does that sound?
Oh, nice.
All right.
Nice.
So I mentioned this last year when we were doing this. I don't really try to keep up with like what's coming out on a yearly basis. I just let it come to me. But when I did some research for this episode, I remembered that Stranger Things is supposed to come out this year. So if that happens, like I'm actually very hyped for that. Like I've been waiting.
Let's
I
go.
think Matt and I have been talking about this for years now, but we've been
Wait for
waiting
that
for this
peer
new
review.
season. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like if we get confirmation of a date of some sort, I don't think we have yet. I think there's like a good time frame. Like I'm pretty sure. No, Matt. Honestly, I'm not positive. But once we have like a definitive date, it
I-
might make me want to like rewatch
don't
it
know.
entirely. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
dang.
Or at the very least, last season, which I think is season 4. But Stranger
Yeah.
Things is like one of my favorite Netflix IPs overall, and I just can't wait
Okay.
to see like how they wrap it all up, because I think this is supposed to be the finale, and I think it's going to be bigger than it's ever been, because obviously the budgets have probably gone through the roof with this thing, and I just can't wait to see what they come up with. That's
Well, the
like
budget,
looking out
half
the
the
title
budget
right
is
now.
just to de-age all those kids.
No. Oh my God.
Supposedly. Oh wait, no, never mind. It just says 2025. I don't know. I guess
Because I thought I saw something like
not
summer
been said.
2025, but maybe that was just like a rumor.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm
I'd
not
buy
sure.
that.
But are you excited for this?
Yeah,
too, Matt?
I have that same thought though. Like, if they do announce it, I think I'll watch the last season, because
Yeah.
leading up to last year or the last season that we watched,
Mhm.
I watched as many episodes as I could. I think, didn't we watch all of them? We might have watched.
I remember
all
I
of them.
rewatched all of them.
Um,
I think you may have like missed one season, because like you ran out of time.
I may have skipped
if I'm remembering
season
correctly.
2.
Okay.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of TV.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I would do that again, but the last season
Yeah.
for sure, because the last season was a banger. It was so
It
good.
was a good season.
And I think
yeah.
it's just going to be like the next season is literally going to be the next day after, that season concluded. So I think it's going to be perfect. I'm so excited. There's so many theories about this. And like we've
are
talked
there?
about this offline, Yasser.
yeah.
And I am just so excited for the potential, because a lot of these actors that grew up on Stranger Things are like full-blown actors now. So it's like
yeah.
now to get them in a cast would cost you so much. I'm sure they're getting paid plenty, but they found these kids when they were like 12 years old, and now they're
Yeah, that's
like
a crazy thing.
22 years old, and they're great. Like a lot of them are really good, and a lot of these indie movies that I've been watching. And so I'm excited to see kind of how this concludes. I hope it lands. Like I hope it lands, but I'm kind of sad to see it go. But this is what put Netflix on the map, in my opinion. Like as far as Netflix original series, I don't know. There's always going to be Stranger Things. Squid Game is fantastic, and it's like the new hotness, but Stranger Things was there first, and so I'm real excited about it.
What else are
And
you
you guys
excited
don't
about?
watch Stranger Things.
No. Winona Ryder can go away.
No. Dang.
Too
Her
spooky.
character is kind of annoying. I get it. So I'm gonna pick a movie.
Okay.
I'm shocked that you guys haven't selected some of the things that I expected you to select. So I'm gonna stay in my own lane for this one, and then I'll swoop in and pick up the pieces to not let anything get missed. But there is a movie. It is my most anticipated movie. It is not a movie that has a release date. It is not a movie that even has a poster. It's barely a movie. Like, some of the cast, the director, and the premise, and that's enough for me, because Wes Anderson's newest film, The Phoenician Scheme, is set to come out in 2025. Wes Anderson has quickly become one of my favorite directors.
He's the best.
Christopher Nolan will always be probably my number one. I just love his style. But Wes Anderson is basically the most comfort food director I've ever experienced. He is just one of those things where you put a Wes Anderson film on, whether it's an old one or a new one, and you just feel kind of at ease and at home. And I don't know if that's like part of like OCD tendencies or what, but like it is just like eye candy to watch, and the weirdness that usually happens. But more recently, Wes Anderson has been talking about a lot of meta commentary on what it means to be an entertainer, what it means to direct, what it means to be an artist. And I think there's a lot of deep feelings in these movies that just make me so excited. But The Phoenician Scheme, if you're asking, what is it? Let me tell you the premise, which is only 2 sentences long. Dark tale of espionage following a strained father-daughter relationship within a family business. Twists revolve around betrayal and morally gray choices. It's got Tom Hanks, Benedict Cumberbatch, Scarlett Johansson, Bill Murray, Michael Cera.
Whoa.
Like this,
He always has all-star
it's
casts,
always-
Tiffany.
Okay.
yeah.
Wait,
Like, this
Michael
is always-
Cera.
Michael Cera's joining the group. This is an all-star cast.
Alan himself.
I'm sad that Willem Dafoe is not even listed in the credits yet, but I believe he'll be there. My favorite weirdo. But Wes Anderson is something he's just a master, and I'm so excited for whenever this comes out. I think it's potentially going to be fall 2025. So hopefully it'll be coming to like a whole slate of film festivals in the fall, but we'll see. Can't wait. Put it on your watch list because it's going to be a great
Thank you for
one.
putting this on my map, Matt. Honestly, Wes Anderson, is one of my favorite directors, just like you said. But for some reason, like one thing or another, I just never like went into a deep dive on all his films. I haven't watched enough of Wes Anderson, but whenever I watch one of his films, it's like one of the best movies I've ever watched, in my opinion.
Wow.
And so I can't wait to watch this. Honestly, I might have to make 2025 the year of Wes Anderson for me. I need to get through his backlog. I need to watch all his movies because, like I said, I just can't get enough of his movies. And for what it's worth, on Wikipedia, William Dafoe is listed as one of the starring actors in this movie. So We will
He
see
usually
him.
is. Yeah, he usually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But
I was
at
about
the
to go
same
just talk
time-
all about Willem Dafoe, but
No,
then I was like,
no,
bring it
no.
back.
That's
Bring
a
it
different
back.
deep dive for another day.
Yeah.
But like honestly, for the people that are not in tune with his work, he's very like different. Like his movies do not look like any other movie you've watched, and they're like very cute, but also have very like serious themes to the point
Yeah.
where you can't really consider it like a kids movie, even though it seems like it at first glance when you watch a trailer sometimes.
Mhm.
But I would definitely recommend at least looking into some of his movies if you haven't already.
And Netflix has a lot of short stories. Roald Dahl, the person that made Willy Wonka, he was like a children's author that made a bunch of short stories. Wes Anderson has actually remade a lot of those short stories into short movies, and they're like 13 minutes long. He has like 4 or 5 of them on Netflix, and honestly, they're great. Like if you watch them, you'll know if you like Wes Anderson or not, because like they're just like fantastic, really, really enjoyable. So, yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 that I haven't seen yet, that I have on my watch list. I will finish them this year, finish out the filmography to prepare for the Phoenician Scheme. So
I mean, he did like
look
the Royal
forward
Tenenbaums,
to that.
right? Like,
He did.
yeah,
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
weird. That was a weird movie.
Grand Budapest Hotel,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Moonrise Kingdom is one of my
that's-
favorites.
I have not seen that one. That's one that's on my list.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to definitely
yeah.
put that on your list.
Yep. Perfect.
All right.
Last one, everybody.
Are we all on our last one now?
We're on our last.
It's
one.
kind of hard to keep track. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like Yasser said like 6.
Yeah, for real.
I've only said 2, believe it or not.
I'm
Believe it or not.
I'm okay going last because I demanded.
Okay.
to go
Alex,
first.
you're the first one. You're the person who hasn't gone first yet. So why don't you go first with your
I like it.
last hype?
All right, this is the obvious choice. It's coming out soon, so I don't have to wait long. And it has the best title of anything we've uttered on this show ever. And that
Wow.
is Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
I mean, I know
What
what
a
it is.
mouthful.
I know what it is.
Yeah, unmistakable. You cannot mix this up with anything else. I dare you to find something else that's been titled anything similar to this. So this is the, I guess, continuation really of Infinite Wealth. It takes place 6 months after the end of that story, so there is a kind of following through line there. So if you haven't played Infinite Wealth, obviously there'll probably be some spoilers. But this follows another character in the Yakuza franchise, Majima Goro, who's known for being very eccentric character. And pretty much it's just very self-explanatory. I love this franchise. It's my favorite of all time, ever since I got back into it like 8 years ago now. And really it is just, it continues to show how crazy and how lighthearted they continue to make the franchise despite having that overly dramatic main story. It has a full-blown, basically the Assassin's Creed Black Flag like ship battles. So if that's something that you played that game and you really like the ship battling and that, this basically has the same thing. You pilot your ship, you have your starboard and broad side cannons, and you're blasting enemy ships on the open waters. It has a cooking mini game like Cooking Mama. And there's a lot of
Gosh.
things, I've stayed away from a lot of the trailers because I already know I'm like
You're gonna be
fully
playing it.
enthused.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting it. So there's probably some other mini games they've shown that I don't know about, but I'll be delightfully surprised when they are like, yeah, we just have Monopoly. Like you just play Monopoly here. I'm like, all right, I'm down for it. Anything's better than Mahjong, right, Matt?
I'm ready for mahjong.
Guys, randomly, I saw a Mahjong game on the App Store. Just want to throw that out there.
It's listening.
I know, right?
It's listening to us.
Maybe you need to
leave me
learn
alone.
it. Yeah, so I'm super excited, and they also have taken to these spin-offs of changing the gameplay, so it's not a turn-based RPG, right? It goes back to its brawler like action combat roots, and so it just has a lot of Majima Goro's fighting style, right, of being a kind of more chaotic fighter compared to Kiryu. And so overall, I'm very excited. The only thing I have to caveat is I wish Sega release the special edition that they're releasing in Asia in the West, because in the Asia collector's edition it comes with a special Yakuza themed game of Pop-Up Pirate. So in case you're not aware of Pop-Up Pirate, it's basically a board game / like toy game.
It's a
where you
children's
have
game.
you have a pirate that gets kind of cranked into a barrel, and you take turns putting swords into the barrel, and whoever puts the sword in that triggers the pirate to pop out of the barrel loses. And so I really wish that was being sold in the West. But all we're getting in our collector's edition is Pirate Flag, which I guess is cool, but I really wish I had that Pop-Up Pirate. So please, Sega, bring that collector's edition to the West, I beg of you.
We got some big listeners. We got Tim Cook. We got Sega. Everyone's listening to the RXP podcast. I'm excited for this peripherally because, listen,
This is
I
a
wanted to
10-year
get
plan.
into Infinite Wealth.
Yeah.
And then this guy, he's like, oh, after you finish Yakuza
no.
0, you only have to play Yakuza 1, and then you probably Yakuza 2, and you probably do. And then meanwhile, like 500 hours later, he's like, then you can play Infinite Wealth. Is this something that do I need to play Infinite Wealth to play Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii?
I don't think so, because especially in the trailers, they showed a lot of the the outcomes of the story.
Okay.
So I don't think you really need to play, especially for this one. You don't need to exactly play Infinite Wealth to enjoy this. I think more so than the rest of them, especially since you've already played 0. You know who Majima is as a character. I think that's enough of a baseline to be like, all right, I understand why he acts like this and what's going on here, and his, maybe his eccentricities, if you will.
Is this going to be more of the brawler style of combat, or going still with the turn-based?
No, it's going to be the brawler actions. But they, one of the major things, there is a jump button now. So for the
Innovation.
literal, first time in a Yakuza game,
They can
you
jump.
can manually jump. Yeah, it's definitely like,
Wow.
I don't know how that's going to play into the level design, because I haven't seen it used in navigation or exploration, but at least in combat, you can do some air combos now, so that might spice things up.
Oh my gosh.
Does ship combat make you more excited or less excited?
I'm excited for anything new, so I'm hella excited for the ship combat.
He's
Mostly
like, you can't
because
sink my hype train.
Mostly because you can, the characters from the past come back as your crew, so you recruit these iconic characters to man your ship, and they're helping you conduct these sea battles.
One of these days,
Nice.
Like a Dragon's gonna have like a space game. I'm gonna be
Yes.
thinking of you, Alex.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like the Fast and Furious franchise.
Well, if we're talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon, so 7, there's technically been a little bit of space incorporated
Already?
in that.
Oh my.
Okay,
But
I'm just saying
I
like a
won't get into
full-blown
full
thing.
details. Oh, full blown thing? Yeah. maybe.
Yeah. They're going to like another planet. They have like spaceship warfare. Like it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait.
I mean, I don't want it. Kind of makes it seem. I know you don't intend it for it to be, but you to describe Yakuza to the or compare it to the Fast and Furious franchise seems a little bit like a slight. But I know you don't intend for that. But I love how crazy Fast and Furious gets, so I'm all aboard if they decide to go that route.
Yeah. It wasn't.
Yeah, sometimes it's just fun,
Yeah. I wasn't
It's all about
dogging
family,
on it.
you know?
Yeah. Family.
Though that's a bad thing for Fantastic Four, supposedly. So
That's a good point.
just kidding.
Hey, Dwayne.
I'm excited for this. I don't know if I'm going to check it out though, to be honest. Like there's so many like a Dragon Yakuza spin-offs out there,
Yep.
and every time I hear like people on podcasts talk about it, they're like, yeah, like if you want to just dive into that world, I'm like, well, if I want to dive into that world, maybe I need to like start working on my way to the main line. So it feels weird to like go into this, but maybe it's at least you're,
I mean, to
buried
be
into it.
fair, like no disrespect, but because there's so many games, is it possible there's just like a YouTube video out there that just like gets
Probably.
the job done? Like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. It probably tells you the
Because
whole
like for
thing.
someone who wants to like really play one of the newer games, like one of the 2 Like a Dragon games, I feel like it is kind of a tall task to say like, hey, let's slow down. How about you play these 500 hours of older games first, you know?
Yeah, no, I think they really intended for that to be the case, right? With obviously with the name change, switching from Yakuza over to that Like a Dragon name, and really that is true. You don't necessarily need any of the past. I just think with how 0 through 6 have been, like the series as a whole is very interconnected, right? Like you have characters that appear in every single game, besides the protagonist, obviously. And so I just think more than other things, right? Like it's not like an anthology series where like in Final Fantasy, you can really play 16. You don't need to worry about Final Fantasy 1 through 15 at all. Like there's zero commitment to that. In this case, I guess with the soft reset, it is similar where maybe you don't need to care about 0 through 6 if you want to play 7 and 8, but there's still a lot that I'm like, man, especially with 8, that they really pull on the heartstrings there of like bringing certain people back. And I'm like, I remember like having like that journey with that character and like seeing them come back. Obviously they didn't, I guess a bit of a spoiler, they didn't die in that game. And so to see them here having a continued life and kind of showing, oh, even though you were doing all this stuff, this character was doing that, and now they're back at this point. Like, it's really nice to see those come full circle in some aspects.
Yeah, it's really cool when games do that.
All right. Yasser, do you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah, why not? Next?
Go for it.
I've got my movie. That's the only category left. And so I really thought about a couple different movies when I was thinking through this, and I thought, my first thought was Superman, because that's a movie that I've been like waiting for a long time. I've been waiting for DCU to kind of reboot, because I've had my fair share of negative feelings of Zack Snyder's DCU verse. Yep. So I'm really excited for that. But to be honest, after I watched the trailer, I was just like I will watch it, but I'm not like super hyped because I wasn't like super impressed with the trailer. I still think it's going to be a good movie, and I think James Gunn knows what he's doing. It's just it didn't hit the heights that I was hoping for, where I'd put this at the top. What movie did do that for me was the director of a little known movie called Parasite. And that is a movie called Mickey 17.
Oh my gosh.
This movie just looks insane in all the best ways, honestly. And the cast is like crazy. Like it's crazy good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything about it just sounds like a movie that I'm going to love. And so I can't wait to watch this in theaters with just like the crazy stuff going on at all times. Like not on a plane, Alex. But yeah, have you guys heard of this movie? Have you guys watched the trailer? Like, what do you guys know about this movie?
I only know about this movie because of Matt, because he read the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should I read the book?
Because this was my third. I should have picked Mickey 17 last time, because they actually just released a new trailer today. I don't know if you watched that one.
No, I didn't see that. I've only
haven't watched
seen
it
the
yet.
trailer in the theaters.
I read the book. The book is not Mickey 17. It's Mickey 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you're looking for Mickey 17, it's not there. But I really enjoyed the book. And it was one of those things where really cool idea. The premise is awesome. Like basically there are people that are contracted to basically give their life away. You give your DNA to this agency and you do all these really risky jobs. You know, not detonate a bomb, disarm a bomb, whatever. You blow up, doesn't matter. They've got your DNA, they will clone you. And so you become like just a number. So this guy is Mickey 17. There's been 16 other iterations of him. And he gets to experience it all and learn as he goes. And it's such a weird thing because there's such a dynamic about people's prejudice against like the
Clones.
Expendables. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is awesome. And Robert Pattinson is going to play Mickey 17.
Yeah.
And it is going to be great. This is much funnier than I anticipated from the book.
Interesting.
It is more comedic in the trailers. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But Bong Joon-ho, the dude knows movies. Like, and if there's one person, because the Expendables, it is a social class hierarchy difference, like them versus us. And if there's one director that knows how to do that with Snowpiercer and Parasite, it's going to be Bong Joon-ho. So this was one of my experiences I've been looking forward to for years. It was supposed to come out last year.
And
and then it comes out in March.
Yeah.
So this is a great pick. March 7th.
I'm glad
Go
I gave
see
you
it
the
in
platform.
the theater because it's going to be great.
You just made me even more hyped. So I honestly can't wait. Do you think that the book will be like a good primer because it's like a different Mickey and it'll be like good to have that kind of background? Do you know if they're like incorporating some of the book into the movie, or has that not really been delved into? It
looks like it's going to be that same tale. So I guess it just depends on if you want to have that context. Obviously, they've already made some changes because I don't even know why they changed from Mickey 7 to Mickey 17.
Yeah. Why would they even
it's
do
a
that?
Sequel.
It's coming out on March 7th. Like, they should have just kept Mickey 7.
But it's Mickey 7. But it's Mickey 17.
No, that's what I'm saying. They should have
On
just...
7.
Oh, God.
So
25.
from the trailers, I know the context behind the trailer, and it seems like it follows that same storyline. So it depends. Like, do you want?
So it seems like
if you want to see it for the first time,
they're recreating the story, even though it's a different Mickey, per the title.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It looked. I guess they just wanted to give him more death sequences. I could see this being like a comedic thing where it's like they just like death.
Yes.
So maybe they thought it was more funny.
Okay,
but
that's fair.
We'll see. I'm really looking forward to it because it's not just him. Like Mark Ruffalo is going to be basically the big bad of it. He's the head of the company that he works for, and it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this. Really, really good.
Now, do you have a backup hype?
I do. I have plenty of backups.
Oh, okay.
He has like a list of 20 movies.
He's got 16
I'm not going to
go.
I was going to go Mickey 17. That was going to be my last pick. But now I'm not. I'm not even going to do a movie because there are other movies. They're great. But I feel like we've talked about the ones I wanted to. I definitely wanted to talk about the two I talked about. But there's one game that no one's brought up, and it would be such a disservice to all of our uncles that work at Nintendo to not mention this because listen, people, go listen to our fantasy critic, and the pickup of the draft was the new 3D Mario that is going to happen this holiday season. I'm planting my flag right in the ground.
I want to contest this. I remember last year Yasser was like, is that even coming out? Are we allowed to pick the things that that don't even have dates or anything?
Yes.
Well,
Alex.
the movie I talked about doesn't have a date either. So back to the drawing
Oh
board.
no,
He's in
that
his
one
own
you said is
timeline.
likely it's a fall release, the Phoenician.
Well, I mean, but you also picked Mario Kart, which obviously turned out to be a great pick. Sorry, Tiffany, but that one also isn't unannounced.
No.
That one's announced basically.
But
well, it wasn't at the time.
No. But like,
that's true.
no one
I'm just
picked...
saying for this hype, for the hype.
Yeah, for the
I
hype
see,
train.
I
No one,
see.
no one
I
picked
see, I see,
Mario
I see.
Kart for the hype train.
Because people stunk all over my Spider-Verse pick last year.
Oh, now I see what you're saying.
Spider-Verse
Yeah,
definitely needs to happen this
I was
year.
expecting you to say Spider-Verse again so I could dunk on you again. That's actually...
Oh my God. No, now you gotta dunk on Matt. You gotta dunk on Matt.
I feel
In your
like there
bones.
is 0% chance that this does not happen. Well, okay, there's always percent chance.
0%.
Like if it doesn't come out this year, it's going to be very beginning of 2026.
Yeah.
I'll take that risk because I think that they're planning this out, and I feel like holiday release for a new 3D Mario is going to happen. I just feel it. I feel it in my bones.
I mean, this would be a spicy launch, Matt, if we got Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4, and the next mainline 3D Mario.
In 6
And
months.
mainline
Like 6
Pokemon.
months.
Like, that is a
Actually,
huge launch lineup.
none
Yeah.
of Matt's hype train items have dates at all. Because his first one was
That's
Metroid Prime
fine.
4. Like he's manifesting so hard.
It's hype.
Yeah,
People.
that's
His
This is
whole
why
list.
this is my episode to host.
Throw his
Get
whole
to
list
the
out
back.
the window.
Listen, you want me to do Mario Kart 9? Because I'll put it there.
No,
Any of
it's-
these Mario games that are happening on the Nintendo Switch 2
Yeah.
are going to be great. And honestly, it's one of those things where we don't know if it's an Odyssey 2. this could be
true.
a completely different. This could be Galaxy 3. Like Nintendo doesn't follow our rules. They don't follow anybody's
It's going
rules.
to be Mario Iliad.
It could be.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. To pair with the Odyssey. And Christopher Nolan is just writhing in pain with his new Odyssey movie.
Yeah.
But this is one of those games that if this comes out, even with Metro Prime 4, it has to be my game of the year. Like, I just think that a 3D Mario platformer that comes out in 2025.
Yeah.
I think just playing Astrobot, like, it wasn't my game of the year, but it was so close.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time I was like, man, I want a Mario. Like, I want a 3D Mario. And that's a big reason why it wasn't my game of the year, because in my heart of hearts, I'm like, I just want it. I want the king back, the king of platformers back, because I feel like if they take their time, and they've given it a proper due, and it's going to be on a new console, that this is going to be one of those games that is going to be crazy. Like GTA 6, sure, that's for someone, probably not me, but Mario, that's for our generation. It's just, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, I want my little toad be like, hello. You know, we just got. I'm gonna play that game. I'm gonna play it on Alex's Switch too, because I'm not getting one until it's special.
Wait, what?
Until
You're not
it's
getting a Switch
special.
too?
I'm not getting it until there's a special edition.
Well, really? She's not allowed to get a Switch
No,
2.
that's not true. The year's over. It's 2025 now. It's 2025.
But we'll
We have
talk
different
about
goals
that
now.
in another episode.
Yeah.
That's next episode.
Yeah.
Next episode, yeah.
Honestly, when
Okay.
you were saying like I can't believe that no one picked it, I thought you were gonna say GTA because like it's such a big title that's coming out, but obviously like none of us care about it, so it's fine.
No.
I've never played a GTA. Like
I've like
the
barely
story.
played them, to be
Me
honest. Like
neither.
I've played them very
I
little.
played a PSP version of it, and I only owned it so that I could play multiplayer, like in between classes during high school
With your friends.
with my friends. Like I never even opened.
It's like,
the
hey,
main
you want to
story.
go run over some hookers in the streets of New York?
Yeah.
exactly.
We
what
were
I
so
did.
endearing back then.
But honestly, I
Oh
feel
my
like this
Tiffany.
is kind of a long shot. I'm not gonna lie. Like the Mario, like I don't know.
That's-
There's a lot
no.
going on.
I
Could
don't
be.
know, man. I
Could
think
be.
it could happen because I feel like that's literally the formula.
It is
out
their
with the
formula.
When do
Switch-
you guys think?
Come out with the Switch
When do you guys think
2.
Switch 2 will come out? June,
Yeah.
probably.
Yep.
That's a
Like
good
I feel like
question,
6 months. You know, like I think that's still a release window, but like I anticipate Mario Kart, obviously Metro Prime, and then maybe like ZA to be in between like holiday and summer, like September, October,
Oh,
and then this
yeah.
come out beginning of November, beginning of December. Like I could see it, but also we're using logic. And Nintendo doesn't. So like this could be like a March 2026 game, and I
Hey.
would be like, I get it.
This time, Nintendo showed a lot of logic. They just called it the Switch 2.
That's
kept it
true.
simple.
That's true.
It's as
Rip
logical
Super
as it gets.
Yeah. Super Switch.
Missed opportunity.
All right, Tiffany, I'll let you go.
Okay. Wait, am I I'm last, right? I wanted to be
Yeah.
last.
You're last, yeah.
Okay, so
Last but not least.
this is something that I'm hyped for is also Mario related, but
Let's go.
I'm really excited for the new Universal theme park, Epic Universe.
Okay.
That debuts May 22nd this year in Florida. It's going to be a third Universal Studios theme park. It's going to have the Mario Kart ride. It's going to have the Nintendo World section. It's going to have a How to Train Your Dragon section. It's going to have
That's cool.
a Monsters section and like another Harry Potter section. Like I'm really
Wow.
excited for
You already
the
like
theme
booked your
park.
tickets?
No, not yet. I need to figure out. I need to.
Are you gonna go
earn more
this
PTO.
year?
Yes, I'm going this year. I'm dragging Alex.
Wow.
And maybe
Why don't
my father.
Why don't we just all go? It'll be an RXP thing.
Well,
Give
we're,
me a date.
I mean, we gotta see what the amount of people, what it feels like. Like
It's going to be a zoo.
Yeah, I don't want to go in the summer. Like, I don't want to go in May, June, or July, or August. Mainly also because it's, like, just boiling hot then. So I just got to see what the fall time kind of looks like.
Yeah,
but
that makes the most sense.
I would also love to just go back and visit the two other Universal parks again too, because I mean Universal is a pretty good time.
You don't even have to
good
explain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some butterbeer.
Yeah.
That stuff is amazing.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Just like give us a date and we'll make it happen.
And he lives the furthest way. It's
I
literally
know,
as
though,
far away.
I
Jeez,
literally couldn't be any
Louis.
further away, and I also
Yeah,
couldn't be
like-
any more
Diagonal.
serious.
Okay. I mean, we already know Yasser and I know that we theme park well together, so that
Very
kinda works out.
impromptu as well. So
Yeah,
let's make it happen. Round 2.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for that. I think it's gonna be like super fun.
Is there
I
like
mean,
one ride that you're most excited for?
Yeah, the Mario Kart ride.
Okay.
The like
Nice.
the interactive like roller coaster. I'm excited to buy freaking headbands.
How interactive is this thing?
You wear like VR AR goggles and like hit
Huh.
items and stuff. It's like crazy.
But not other people.
No.
Dang. So it's not like bumper cars.
No.
The true
No.
Mario Kart 9.
It's like I can't throw a blue shell at someone directly.
I mean,
No.
I'm sure I can throw a banana if I wanted to. I'd probably get kicked out.
I
though.
can't remember if there's the Donkey Kong ride
that-
is coming.
No littering on the ride.
That ride is going to get shut down because somebody's going to throw a banana peel.
Oh my-
like
Yeah.
within the first week.
Yeah.
Mark my words, there will be an article about that.
They're,
And a
they're gonna
TikTok,
visit
probably.
the Donkey Kong section first to get the banana,
Yep.
and then bring it to the Mario Kart ride and be like, "Look, I came pre-prepared with my item block."
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be so crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's coming out. I mean, the United States hasn't had a new theme park in like literal decades. Like I feel like the last one was like literally like 1994.
Is it going to be
when
that big
Animal
though? Because
came
like
out.
to me, it sounds like it's just going to be another section of Universal. Is it really
It's-
like bigger than that?
It's a separate park. It's its
Whoa.
own park. So there's Universal Studios, then there's Universal Islands of Adventure, and then it's
Uh-huh.
going to be Epic Universe. So
I
like
see.
it's going to be a
Mm.
few miles away. Unfortunately, it's not going to be like walkable connected like
Oh,
the
really?
other two. Yeah.
Oh.
So
That
it's going to
sucks.
be
Can't
like
take the Hogwarts Express?
no, you can't take the Hogwarts Express.
Dang
You
it!
have
This is
Dang.
the epic universe, Matt. This isn't the Wizarding World.
to-
But you said there's another
There-
Harry Potter portion.
yes, there is going to be another.
There's
one.
a new Harry
Unbelievable.
Potter portion.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Bro.
like. It's supposed to be like France or something, like the Wizarding World in France.
Oh, that's cool. So it's not
Oh,
Hogwarts. then,
that's
technically,
cool.
But that's
Yeah.
totally cool.
Bobaton.
Bobaton, yeah.
It's not the Bobatons because I think it's whatever
What?
the like Grindelwald movie was like. You know what I mean? Like it's one. It's
That's in
from
England,
the
I thought.
Fantastic.
That's America.
No.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm
America.
stupid. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Oh, America.
I'm like, did we watch the same movie?
The original was the
like, it's in New York, guys.
Yeah, I know it's in New York, but I think that there's a section of like the newer ones. They went to France or Germany or something. I don't know. I just know that it's different.
It's like Little France in New York.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
It's Vegas.
But
We've got our own Eiffel Tower.
at least I think
Wow,
that's going to
I'm-
be open at launch. I'm not entirely sure, but they opened their doors in May. So
That's exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
yeah.
I have not heard that was happening at all.
Yeah.
This is like breaking news to me. That's cool.
Yeah, because the Mario or Nintendo World section in Universal Studios LA has been open, I think, for at least a year or two. I have not made my way out there. I was like, I'm gonna wait for Florida because they're gonna have a Donkey Kong ride. So
Yeah.
Can't
Yep.
wait for that.
Donkey Kongo in real life.
could you imagine?
Oh, that would be cool.
Play actual.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
drums.
yeah. Or Diddy
I hope the
Kong
Switch 2
is-
brings back the conga beats. That would be sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I can't wait for all these things because all these things are happening this year for sure.
yeah.
No doubt in my
No
mind.
exceptions here.
We need
No
Dunk on him
exceptions.
some more.
No.
My
Drag him
entire
through the
list
mud.
No.
is going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for this year. I think this is going to be a really, really good year. I think it's a good year for movies. I think it's a great year for games.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even know. Like, we didn't even talk about Severance or Squid Game because I feel like they were almost cheating because Severance season 2 has started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it was like
Wiz-
a month away, I probably would have put Severance season 2 as like my most anticipated because that show is just amazing.
Honestly, I was
Um,
gonna pick Severance until I realized when I was researching that Stranger Things was coming out. That was like I kind of had to pick it. You know what I mean? But Severance, I can't wait to watch that. I think I'm gonna wait till after all the episodes are released though, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to wait. I'm gonna be straight up realistic.
We're rewatching everything.
Oh, that's a great.
The past couple weeks, we rewatched the first season, and we are on the penultimate episode. No, the season finale of season 1.
Oh my god!
So we're gonna watch season 1 finale and episode 1 of
Same
season
night?
2
Nice.
back to back.
God,
Yeah,
nice.
it's gonna be
That's
great.
like too many emotions.
Yeah, but oh man, it's so good. I love the water cooler moment, but the water cooler is the Brita filter, and it's between Maddie and I. It's great. It's great. But 2025 going to be a great year. I'm excited to talk about all these things. I'd love to do a bunch of peer reviews about these things one day because I just love talking about these things with you guys. So whatever you guys are hyped about, let us know. We'll talk about it. We love talking. Especially if it's Sly Cooper Collector's Edition, which hopefully happens at some point.
Yeah. I mean, can I get another shout out in?
Yeah.
All right, one shout out.
Cheat
You're allowed
the
one shout
system?
out.
All right. I was saving it for this. I didn't draft it. My fancy critic. I won't draft it, so that's why I'm gonna shout it out here. I'm hyped for Roadcraft. If you true believers out there have any idea what this is, it is from Saber Interactive, the developers of SnowRunner and MudRunner. And it is basically, think SnowRunner, but you are building the roads in these post-apocalyptic terrain
Incredible.
maps. And it is exactly what I've been wanting out of that franchise. And I'm finally excited they're making it a real thing. So shout out to you, Saber Interactive. Go play Roadcraft when it comes out later this year.
Oh my gosh.
SnowRunner is always on PSN sales, and I always think of you as I don't buy it.
Yeah, as you scroll past it.
That was like 150 hours of my life well spent, let me tell you.
Yeah. I love your passion for it. I love your passion. Well, here's some tunes from Grandmaster Doug. This concludes episode 108. We'll see you next time. Big episodes coming up. Bye. Could you imagine going to a tournament and then this dude just like pulls down this My Little Pony and sends you to the underworld? Or
Me.